Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about the Mazda, late model Mazdas. In the case of my experience was with Mazda 324, 2024 Mazda 3, but the Mazda CX-30s, other Mazda late models, in the case of Mazda 3 from 2019 up, and similarly other models, when the Mazda for the airbag control module went to a new kind of connectors that has a special locking mechanism. So the way that you unlock this, you press from the back of the lever, you press the release mechanism, and then this thing gets pushed forward and pull these things out. So now there's a couple of issues going on in here. Uh, the, there's a safety pin in here that can easily be pulled out, and I'm pulling it out so I could show it to you. This safety pin has a spring mechanism that when you close the lever, it gets pushed on this and causes the top part to be shorted to the bottom part, like this. But it's spring loaded and it's supposed to spring back when you open the connector. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back to explain the rest of the story here. This goes back to a certain position. So now if this thing is in here and you don't have you haven't removed the whole console and you're trying to reach out from the top, which you can, in order to release this, if it's your first time, it's possible that you may put this pin all over the place to figure out how to open this if you don't know. And one of the issues is that you might end up pushing onto the first of all, you may end up breaking this lever, and when the lever gets broken, this lever, the spring-loaded safety mechanism is still in place, and if you close it with just that without the lever, this lever is the one that pushes onto the spring to make the short, and without this, that short is not going to happen, and there is going to be a code produced by the computer. If you use a scanner, the code will tell you supply power. That's all it says. Instead of saying safety pin open, that's what it should be, but it says supply power. And if you reset that code, the code goes away until the next time you start the car. So that's one design fallacy for this thing. They're not using the proper nomenclature to identify the problem. And then the other problem is, while you're doing this, if you push onto this spring, you can inadvertently push on this spring, and if you do that, you do a permanent shortage of the pin. And in that case, the code that you receive, it would indicate Frontal stage 3 issue, which has nothing to do with this problem. The nomenclature for the code should have been safety pin shorted, but instead of that, they say Frontal stage 3. Now, the US Mazda car markets, none of them have a Frontal stage 3. A couple of Mazdas in Europe have that, and what the Frontal stage 3 is a safety airbag that gets installed into one of the front seats to prevent the passenger and the driver head to be collided together during a rollover. But in US market, there is no such thing as a Frontal stage 3. However, when this pin gets shorted, that's what they call it, instead of saying safety pin shorted. So these are two design issues with all the late model Mazdas, and hopefully this video will help you overcome the issues if you run into one of these two. In my case, I had both problems, which took me a long time. I took my car to the Mazda dealership here in San Jose, which were extremely nice and tried their best to accommodate me. However, even though their foreman called the Mazda headquarters, they couldn't help him, to identify what this frontal stage 3 is. They couldn't figure it out either. But that's what it is. Hopefully this will help you. Thanks for watching. Bye.